Good morning. Welcome to the Departmental Awards for the Bowie Police Department for 2020. I'd like to begin the ceremony with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please face the flag. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So we're a little delayed in doing this. We usually present these awards as part of the Public Safety Committee's award ceremony in August. Due to COVID, we are just now getting around to this. It's long overdue to recognize the men and women of the department that have done such an amazing job. 2020 was a rough year for everybody. A lot changed under COVID, but what did not change was the amazing service that the men and women of the Bowie Police Department give every day. Police work is a very difficult job, it's a very demanding job, and it's a very misunderstood job in a lot of cases. We are called upon to wear many different hats, from guardian to protector to social worker, counselor, and as you see during these awards and their narratives, you'll find that our department does it better than anybody else. I can't be prouder of the men and women of this department, the service they provide on a daily basis. So please enjoy the ceremony, listen closely to the narratives. These acts represent the best of what we have to offer our community, but is by no means all we have to offer our community. This is a highlight. If we tried to capture every single good thing that we do on a daily basis, this award ceremony would be 7, 8, 10 hours long. These are the highlights. These men and women have put an outstanding effort, risked their lives, saved lives, and we have a truly appreciative command staff, and we have a truly appreciative community. So thank you, and I look forward to the awards.
Master Police Officer Michael Johnson. Police Officer First Class Arie Neal. Police Officer First Class Craig Mathew. Police Officer First Class Anthony Imperiale. Chiefs Award 2020. In September of 2020, Police Officer First Class Arie Neal and Police Officer First Class Anthony Imperiale responded to a domestic call for service. Upon arrival, officers were confronted by a male holding a knife, telling officers he was going to make them shoot him. Officer Neal was able to talk to the male while Officer Imperiale provided cover. Police Officer First Class Craig Mathew arrived and attempted to speak with the male as well. After exhausting all other avenues of communication, a taser was deployed, and Officer Michael Johnson was safely able to place the male into custody. This incident shows the professionalism of the officers and their dedication to the department as well as the citizens of Bowie. Master Police Officer Michael Johnson is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Chiefs Award. Police Officer First Class Arie Neal is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Chiefs Award. Police Officer First Class Tyler Zittle. Police Officer Darin Tucker. Meritorious Service Award 2020. In February of 2020, Police Officer First Class Tyler Zittle and Police Officer Darin Tucker responded to a call for suspicious occupied vehicles and possible controlled drug substance use. Upon arrival, the officers approached the vehicles and immediately detected the odor of marijuana emanating from one of those vehicles. Officer Tucker began speaking with a passenger who seemed extremely nervous and was reaching for his waistband several times, even after he was instructed not to move and to keep his hands in plain view. Officer Tucker ordered the suspect out of the vehicle, at which time the suspect pushed past Officer Tucker and fled on foot. Officer Zittle and Officer Tucker gave chase, apprehending the suspect a short distance away. While conducting a search of the suspect, a loaded, unbranded pistol with no serial number was discovered in his waistband. Further investigation subsequent to the arrest led to additional charges for weapons distribution. Police Officer First Class Tyler Zittle is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Meritorious Service Award. Police Officer Darin Tucker is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Meritorious Service Award. Sergeant Robert Stevenson, Meritorious Service Award. In July of 2020, Sergeant Robert Stevenson observed a Dodge Challenger exceeding 100 miles per hour on Collington Road near Bowie Town Center. Sergeant Stevenson activated his emergency equipment and stopped the suspect vehicle approximately 1 mile away. When the suspect attempted to leave the scene on foot and Sergeant Stevenson blocked his path, the suspect became belligerent and insisted he be allowed to leave. Sergeant Stevenson advised the suspect that he was under arrest, and a physical confrontation ensued. With the assistance of Lieutenant Harley with the Prince George's County Police Department, along with Corporal Brian Arnold, Police Officer First Class Tyler Zittle, and Police Officer Copper, the suspect was placed into custody. A search of the vehicle revealed a loaded .40 caliber Glock 22 handgun, 2 pounds of marijuana, and over $4,000 in cash. Due to Sergeant Stevenson's keen observation, dedication, and vigilance, a violent offender was apprehended. Sergeant Robert Stevenson is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Meritorious Service Award. Police Officer Lester Graham, Police Officer Kristopher Zajur, Meritorious Service Award 2020. In March of 2020, Police Officer Lester Graham and Police Officer Kristopher Zajur responded to the area of the Bowie Town Center for a report of an individual armed with a handgun. Officer Graham observed 2 individuals matching the description provided to him by communications. He exited his vehicle and began to chase the suspects on foot while giving verbal commands for them to stop. Officer Graham was able to apprehend 1 suspect who was found to have brass knuckles knife combos in each of his front pockets. Simultaneously, Officer Zajur canvassed the area and observed an individual matching the description of the second suspect, who was instructed to remove his hands from his pockets. After the suspect complied, Officer Zajur patted down the suspect, who was very nervous and out of breath, and recovered a taser knife combo as well as a loaded 9mm handgun. The actions and professionalism displayed by Police Officers Graham and Zajur contributed to multiple weapons being recovered from the suspects. Police Officer Kristopher Zajur is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Meritorious Service Award. Master Police Officer Michael Johnson, Police Officer First Class Craig Mathew, Police Officer First Class Tyler Zittle, Communications Specialist 3 Michael Gaylor, Communications Specialist 2 Mindy Anderson. In July of 2020, Bowie officers responded to a report of a citizen armed robbery. Communications Specialist Mindy Anderson received the call and remained in communication with the victim, providing vital information including the number of and description of the suspects, their vehicle, and other facts pertinent to the matter. Master Police Officer Michael Johnson observed a passing vehicle matching the description, and he followed at a safe distance. Police Officer First Class Craig Mathew and Police Officer First Class Tyler Zittle were also in the area and followed the suspect vehicle as well. At this time, the Bowie Dispatch Center was patched into the Prince George's County Dispatch Center. Communications Specialist Michael Gaylor was given control of the Prince George's Police Channel. He directed all communications related to the call. Police Officer First Class Mathew provided locations and a direction of travel for air support and other responding officers. Shortly thereafter, the Prince George's Police Department was able to establish a perimeter in Upper Marlborough. Once the vehicle came to a stop, officers converged on the vehicle and all three suspects were apprehended without incident. The victims of the robbery positively identified all suspects and the stolen items were returned. Due to the quick reaction and information related to the officers from the communications center, as well as the diligence and actions of Police Officer First Class Mathew and Zittle, 3 violent offenders were removed from the streets. Master Police Officer Michael Johnson is presented with the Bowie Police Department's Meritorious Service Award. Police Officer First Class Tyler Zittle is presented with the Bowie Police Department's Chiefs Award. Communications Specialist 2, Mindy Anderson, is presented with the Bowie Police Department's Chiefs Award. Corporal Ryan Shifflett, Police Officer First Class Anthony Imperiale, Communications Specialist 3, Michael Gaylor. In May of 2020, Corporal Ryan Shifflett and Police Officer First Class Anthony Imperiale were dispatched to a domestic incident in progress. It was quickly determined that no laws had been broken, and the individuals and officers left the scene. Later that night, Communications Specialist Gaylor was monitoring the fire department's calls along with Bowie's police calls. He dispatched Corporal Shifflett and Police Officer First Class Imperiale back to the scene for an unconscious subject not involved in the prior incident. Officers spoke with individuals on scene, and no one knew what the suspect had ingested. Corporal Shifflett was unable to locate a pulse. Officer Imperiale began chest compressions until fire department personnel transported the subject for medical treatment. Without regard for the COVID-19 exposure possibility, Corporal Shifflett and Police Officer First Class Imperiale entered the residence and began life-saving measures. Communications Specialist Gaylor went above and beyond his duties to protect the citizens of Bowie. Corporal Ryan Shifflett is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Life-Saving Award. Police Officer First Class Craig Mathew, Police Officer Angel Orellana, Police Officer Michael Voglezon. In June of 2020, a call for service was received for an unresponsive person. Upon arrival, officers Mathew, Voglezon, and Orellana immediately began life-saving measures. They tirelessly conducted CPR for nearly 30 minutes until a pulse was felt on the elderly female patient. Fire department personnel arrived, took control of the scene, and the patient was transported to the hospital for additional treatment. Without regard for the COVID-19 exposure possibility, Police Officer First Class Mathew, Officer Voglezon, and Officer Orellana entered the residence and began those life-saving measures. Police Officer Michael Voglezon is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Life-Saving Award. Lieutenant Joseph Rose, Corporal Kwok Kam, Corporal Robert Warrington. In April of 2020, Bowie Communications received a call for CPR in progress. Responding officers immediately recognized the address as belonging to a fellow squad mate who was found to be unresponsive in the garage of the home. CPR was being administered by a family member. Lieutenant Rose, Corporal Kam, and Warrington took over life-saving measures using both CPR and an AED and sustained those measures until medics arrived. The officer was stabilized and transported to the hospital for further treatment. The medical personnel involved all credited the actions of Lieutenant Rose, Corporal Kam, and Corporal Warrington as being vital to the officer's survival. They were able to rely on their training and remain calm and professional under extraordinary circumstances. Lieutenant Joseph Rose is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Life Saving Award. Corporal Kwok Kam is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Life Saving Award. Corporal Robert Warrington is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Life Saving Award. Lieutenant Joseph R. Rose, Sergeant Martin Rodriguez, Corporal Robert Warrington, Corporal Brian Arnold. In July of 2020, Bowie Police Communications received an assist call from Maryland State Police. The call indicated a male was on Route 50 hanging over the ledge above southbound Crane Highway. Bowie units responded and found the victim sitting on the ledge over the overpass, speaking to someone on his cell phone. Sergeant Martin Rodriguez and Corporal Robert Warrington immediately established communication with the individual. The victim was visibly distraught and was considering jumping over the ledge. Sergeant Rodriguez continued to speak to the victim while Corporal Warrington and Corporal Arnold slowly approached. Sergeant Rodriguez asked if he could speak to the person on the cell phone. The victim tossed the phone, which allowed Lieutenant Rose, Corporal Warrington, and Corporal Arnold to grab the victim and pull him off the ledge to safety. The victim was then transported to a medical facility to receive treatment. Lieutenant Joseph Rose is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Life Saving Award. Corporal Robert Warrington is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Life Saving Award. Corporal Robert Warrington, Police Officer Kevin Copper, Sergeant Robert Stevenson, Corporal John Lee, Corporal Kwok Kam, Police Officer David McIlwain. In May of 2020, Bowie Communications broadcast a lookout for a vehicle that had just been reported as carjacked on Annapolis Road just outside of the Bowie jurisdiction. Corporal Kam spotted the vehicle and began to follow it. Corporal Warrington, Corporal Lee, Police Officer McIlwain, and Police Officer Copper were all involved in the pursuit. As other units approached, the vehicle began to flee and officers began to pursue it. The pursuit went through multiple jurisdictions, including the upper reaches of Montgomery County, eventually ending up in the District of Columbia. The carjacked vehicle became disabled after striking another vehicle. The suspect exited and immediately began to fire a handgun at the officers. As the Bowie officer returned fire, the suspect barricaded himself in nearby home. Metropolitan Police assisted in securing a perimeter around the residence, and the Metropolitan Police's emergency response team made entry into the home. The suspect, who was wanted for multiple armed carjackings, including one attempted hijacking in Bowie, all within the previous 24-hour period, surrendered. An AR-15 rifle and a handgun used in the commission of the crimes were recovered from the suspect. Thanks to the bravery, tenacity, and skill of all of the officers involved, a dangerous felon was safely apprehended. Corporal Robert Warrington is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Distinguished Service Award. Police Officer Kevin Copper is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Distinguished Service Award. Sergeant Robert Stevenson is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Chiefs Award. Corporal Kwok Kam is awarded the Bowie Police Department's Chiefs Award.
So thank you again for attending today's ceremony. We appreciate the support that we receive on a daily basis from our community and appreciate being able to recognize the fine efforts of the officers present here today. As I stated before, policing is a challenging and often misunderstood profession. One of the things that I can say without any doubt is that we have a fantastic community that supports our efforts. And one of the reasons that they support us so strongly is right in front of me. The officers that are out there daily doing the work and providing that service with integrity. So again, thank you for the support from the community. Thank you for the wonderful jobs from the officers and from the entire department. Even if you were not recognized here today, your work is valuable on a daily basis and is greatly appreciated. Thank you and have a great day.